What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here. A couple weeks ago I did a review on the iPhone SE clone, $50. It wasn't really that great. Mine's not doing too hot by the way, but I wanted to do the same thing for the iPhone 6s. And if you guys have really good memory, on this channel I did a review on the 6s, but that was before it was even announced. So these Chinese companies didn't even know what it'd be really like, and they released it anyways. And it came in this pinkish color. That was pretty much the only thing they got right. Otherwise, it was exactly like an iPhone 6, just different color. Since then, there have been 6 versions of this clone. So I just went ahead and picked up the $150 version of the iPhone 6s version 6 in this cocaine looking box. And let's go ahead and see for $150, how bad can the experience be, or how good can it be? I mean, they've had 6 versions to perfect it. Let's see how good it compares to an actual iPhone 6s. All right, and here we are. Let's take a look at what's happened in between the first release and the 6th one. So officially, this is an octa-core processor. It has a real working Touch ID, and I'm very curious to compare it to the old clone and the new iPhone 6s. So no, let's do something unique today. God, whoops. All right. I think this one is definitely more efficient. It like slides out. This one takes a little bit getting used to, and you need some clearance for it. All right. Man, it feels good to be back in here doing this stuff. I was actually gone a little camping trip, and then I've been binge watching Stranger Things and Mr. Robot. If you guys haven't seen Stranger Things, I'm just like telling you guys right now, you're missing out on one of the best shows I have ever seen. Personally, my opinion, but check it out. They didn't even include this in the box. They just threw that in there. All right. Apple is changing up their packaging. All right, so some nice foil. So if you guys have ever opened up an iPhone box, you know that they would never do something like this. They actually just have like cardboard cutouts inside that kind of hold the product in place. It's very efficient actually. Like, it doesn't create all this waste for no reason. I had some people tell me in my last one, like, why do you care about the packaging so much? Because really packaging is about presentation. For Apple, the number one like good, impression you can get from the product is just by getting this box, and it has a feeling of quality to it. It doesn't even have to be a good product. As long as it's packaged well, it gives the illusion of being a good product. But there's the box. The font's looking a little different. Let me get the original box here. And here is that new packaging. So as you can see, the fonts look a little bit off, but if you haven't seen the old one, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. Definitely feels better than the SE one. You are paying more here. Okay, so we got our plastic wrap on. Very, very nice, Apple-esque. And here we are. So let's see how the colors match up. All right, looking good. Okay, so compared to an actual iPhone, it's off definitely, but it's not too bad. It's not as bad as the old one. The old one was just like a dyed pink color. This one actually looks somewhat more like it, but it's a very muted pink, like it doesn't look too similar. Taking a look at the S labels, the one on the clone is like a little skinny. It's not as dark, so yeah, definitely a difference. And if you're wondering about these, some countries do require those, like China. So if I were to grab one from China, a real 6S, it would have them as well. All right, so physical differences. The cameras actually look pretty good. As you can see on the iPhone, there's no black border that's visible around it. It's just right there. Otherwise, color is the number one thing. I mean, come on guys, you could have matched it up a little bit better. All right, let's power it on, see what we got here. It's actually much lower resolution, I believe 1280 by 720 than the actual 6S, but it is cheaper. And the display has this weird thing where it like bulges out a little bit. So with the clone on top right here, you can see the display just kind of juts out. It's not flush with the body like the 6S is. There's no ridge. And yeah, to me, that's a dead giveaway that's a clone. Hey, well, this one actually came fully charged. All right, whoa, what is that? So there's some sort of weird effect here. And the fonts, what the heck? The fonts are so off. It does not look proper. Like, look at the 0 on Apple, it's rounded. This one's kind of like a squared 0. All right, so let's check out settings. What firmware is this guy running? Is it running jailbreakable? Ah, you can't slide back. Come on, that's like one of the best things about an iPhone is you can slide to go back. General, about 9.3.2. Wow. Okay, so they're actually pretty up to date about this guy. iOS 9.3.2. They even have a serial number, a model number in here. Cool. And man, there's no slide to go back. That sucks. So obviously there's no jailbreak out for this guy. I can't go ahead and plug it in and see if it's jailbreakable. But let's see if there's a software update out. Nope. I'm up to date. Otherwise, the settings menu is looking pretty dang similar, like really, really close. There it is. So let's turn the brightness down a little bit. It's burning. It's looking pretty similar. Wow. So this thing even has night shift, but it doesn't really do anything. Does this have 3D touch is my question. So, nope. I don't believe so. There's that effect. Oh my gosh. Listen to that. Like there's a gap in between the screen and the phone. Nice. All right. So looking pretty clean. Notification center. This is up to date. As far as clones go, this one is actually pretty good on the software side of things. All right. Control center. Whoa. The animations are a little off. So for $150, what can you expect? But let's check out the App Store. What is this? Is this the actual Play Store? So after typing on this thing, the vibration motor feels so weak, like very rattly. It's hard to describe because you guys aren't holding it, but very cheap materials, obviously. All right, so signing into the Play Store. Hopefully this is the real deal. On the SE, they just had a watered down Play Store that, you know, was just like a few handful of apps that were outdated. Hopefully this one gives me access to Geekbench because I actually really want to see what the benchmarks are, and I'm going to test out the Touch ID. All right, so great. I paid $150 and I cannot even use Safari. It's just loaded with adware. Like every other search will just take you to some random page that's obviously an ad. Come on, this is so annoying. It's so buggy. All right, let's try this again. So it doesn't let me download Geekbench from the Play Store for whatever reason. I think that they don't want you to see the benchmarks. So I'm going to try and sideload it here. All right, so I have finally downloaded Geekbench on the phone after so much struggle. And inside, it basically tells me it has an old Mali T720 GPU and a 1 gigahertz CPU. So I'm going to go ahead and run a Geekbench on this guy. And I really, really want to see how it compares to the real 6S and even the clone. And after running the Geekbench, I'm greeted with a white display. These guys really, really don't want you to see how powerful the phone is. But the good news is it was working in the browser. So I did finally see 519 single, 1489 multi-core score. And it's not an octa-core, it's just a quad-core, those lying bastards. Anyways, how does it compare to the last iPhone 6S? Well, the original one, the clone, and much better. That one was 351 and 1181. That is like iPod Touch 4th generation or 5th generation status. So definitely a big improvement, but obviously comparing it to the actual iPhone 6S, it's uncomparable. That thing just blows this thing out of the water. Do you really, really want to suffer with this phone? I mean, at least if the software utilized that power, but it doesn't. It's a glitchy, buggy mess, and it's just an exercise in frustration. And as far as software goes, the app switcher, there it is, very slow and unresponsive, but looking similar now. At least it's not in the iOS 8 style. It even has reachability, so you can go ahead and double tap on the home button and bring the screen down, and very similar to the iPhone 6S. So let's go ahead and test the fingerprint sensor and put that to the test. Going through the Touch ID setup, it's very, very similar to the iPhone 6S real deal, and it actually works. Unlike the iPhone SE, this has a working Touch ID fingerprint sensor. How it will perform, let's find out. So with the iPhone 6S on the right, 3, 2, whoa! Oh my gosh, so it's actually so much faster, like twice as fast. That's something I definitely did not expect. And let's go ahead and try that once more in 3, 2, 1. And wow. So this thing, because of the lack of animation, actually jumps into the home screen faster. So if that doesn't make a statement to Apple, I don't know what will. Apple really needs to reduce the animation when jumping into the home screen. Like it's unnecessarily long and drawn out. So wow, this thing is unbelievably fast. The iPhone 6S clone outperforms the original iPhone 6S in fingerprint speed. All right, so final takeaway, yeah, the fingerprint sensor is faster on this guy, but other than that, the only benefit this has is being cheaper. For that price, you do have an insufferable operating system. I pay somebody not to use this thing than be forced to use it. I would rather use an iPhone 2G every day than use this thing. It is so bad. So if you're thinking about about buying one of these, slap yourself across the face and don't. Funny little thing about the camera, so it has a live icon for live photos. It does absolutely nothing. You'll find a lot of these little things in the operating system which do absolutely nothing. They're just there as a placeholder. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this little video. I find it really amusing to review these. This is the iPhone 6s 6th version clone, yet it couldn't deliver at all. I mean, absolutely awful, guys. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the iPhone SE clone video if you really want to laugh. That thing is so much worse than this. Have a great day, guys. Peace.